Welcome back to the channel for another installment of our indicator series. I'm Crypto Trend Trader. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please trade at your own risk and don't risk more than you're willing to lose. Alright, today we're looking at TJD's On Balance Volume Indicator, or you'll see down here TJD OBV. You can go on TradingView and search TJD under indicators, and you can add this to your chart. And what we're going to do is essentially the purpose of this indicator is it measures on balance volume. So it shows the volume that's actually being represented on chain. So it's actual transactions of people buying and selling. It doesn't take into account any holding or anything like that, or over-the-counter trading, anything like that. It specifically takes into account on-chain volume. So it's actual transfers, actual buys and sells on the Bitcoin chain. And what this is essentially doing is it's measuring not only the volume total on the blockchain, so you'll see it's how many Bitcoins being traded, but it also measures, you'll see like the blue and purple line is essentially showing you like a micro time frame. Is it going up or down? And then what I have here is the moving average, essentially, where I have the slope of the moving average changing color as the slope changes color. So essentially what it represents is if you see an area where the slope is green and the volume indicator is on top of the slope, it means that there's more buying than selling. If you see this is underneath, the purple and blue lines are underneath the red moving average slope, you'll see there's more selling than buying. And the purpose of this indicator is essentially just to pick out long time trending trades. So you're essentially using this to determine whether or not you should be looking for long trades or whether or not you should be looking for short trades inside of the time frame that you're trading. So here I'm looking at Bitcoin on the daily. I'm going to shrink this back down, and you'll see this is a very good representation of long trending trades, because if I'm going to turn on log scale for a minute here, if you go back, you'll see all throughout bull markets it's going to be green, and then throughout the bear market, the actual capitulation prior to that happening, it turns red, and then before we're back out of the bear market, you're going to see it start turning green again. And all this is representing is the volume on that's being transferred or traded is essentially increasing. But not only is it increasing by the number on the right hand side, not only is there more volume on the chain, but the slope also is going to change based on the buying and selling. So it's cool that you can see volume, it's cool that you have the ability to see volume in places, but you can't, and you can use it to pick out highs and lows. But you, like here we see a ton of volume coming in, that's how we know our low coming in. And then as we get to the top of different points, we had a huge volume spike right there, big volume spike right there. But that's not telling you anything. All it's going to tell you is the amount of volume that took place in that time period, the amount of volume that took place in that day. And if the day ended up red or if the day ended up green, is going to show you whether or not the candle or the volume bar is red or green. But that's not telling you if there's actually more buying or more selling taking place. And that's the purpose of this indicator. The smaller line in here that's going to have more of like a jagged move, that's going to show you the buying and selling pressure. And then the actual slope of the indicator, the green slope here, is what's going to tell you the overall if more people are buying or more people are selling. So what you're looking for long trades when this is green, and you're looking for short trades when it turns red. So now I'm going to take it down to a shorter time frame so you can see a little bit more of like the accuracy it gives you, but it's not going to call exact tops with the color of the slope because it is a lagging indicator, but it's going to get you out of massive losses. So if you rode this, if you bought here when it turned green, you would be buying in this area here. You would be riding it up this entire trend. You would not sell the absolute top using just this indicator, but when it turns red over here, you would have sold right here. And just if you were using this indicator and nothing else, so say we sold right here, and then, I mean, that's a 20% drop essentially. And then it has you buying back in, and again, that's if you're using just this indicator, it has you buying back in at, it would be over, it's like a 16-17% discount depending where you bought back in here. And again, you'd be riding it up, And if you're using just this indicator, it's not going to take you out of the trade until back here. So you would have got a small profit off of that, but overall, this is not meant to specifically tell you when to enter and exit trades. It's meant to get you out of important dumps before they happen and to get you back into important pumps before they happen, but it's overall to show you the trend of the trade. Okay, and that's how I use it. I don't use this alone. I use it in combination with other indicators. But if you start turning it on to say like an hour, now you can use this for day trading. I mean, this is swing and day trading all day, because every time it's going to have you in a trending trade, it's going to be profitable or it's going to take you out of what would be a big dump. And then it's going to put you back in when you see the green start flashing again. You're going to start looking for a re-entry. And this one wouldn't have technically told you to get back in because you're not seeing a consistent green slope yet. But I mean, it's getting ready to flash soon back to green, at least on the shorter time frames. But that's basically the most simple way to break down this indicator. It's essentially going to tell you not only if there's more or less buying or selling volume, but it's going to give you the slope overall. Is there over time more people buying or more people selling? So you can get on the right side of trades, because you don't want to be taking shorts in an uptrend and you don't want to be taking longs in a downtrend. And that's exactly what we're doing with this. We're going to use it to get us out of these massive dumps and get us into these massive pumps, and the most effective on the longest time frames. But again, like any indicator, as you get into the longer time frames, you're going to get a lot less signals. So you have to use it for long trending trades, or you have to use it on a shorter time frame along with the longer time frame. You can't just specifically turn this on the monthly and say, oh, okay, because if you put it on the monthly for Bitcoin, it's just going to always say you're in an uptrend. I mean, it literally had you out here and had you in there, and then it had you out back here. I mean, it's not accurate on that long of a time frame. You could use it also on a longer time frame if you're going to take it as signals when it crosses below, but before the slope changes. When it crosses below, once that breaks as support, you can get out of that trade. Would have got you out of that, and then when it crosses above, you can get back into a trade. But again, you would have missed this whole push up. So this is definitely a longer term indicator, but it is in fact for strong trending moves. It's not as good in choppy areas. So, well, there we have it. That's our TJD OBV on balance volume, and that's an indicator, how to use it. And if you do want to use this indicator, you can just go over to TradingView and you can search TJD or Turbo J Diesel, and you can find this indicator added to your charts, and it is absolutely free. So thanks a lot for tuning in today. We'll have another installment out shortly. This Crypto Trend Trader signing off.